We are super grateful to be at the beginning of another day. Good morning to you. It's 8:02. We are Island Tea. I'm here with my man, AZ.
Good morning to everyone. I just hope and trust that everyone is having a beautiful day so far. It's the 4th of July. You know, what is the 4th of July significant? What's the significance of the 4th of July, Jamstar?
Let me see. I can't quite. I'm just kidding. American independence.
Yeah, I know. But to me, I don't know. I'm not in the US. Of course, I'm here in St. Kitts. But do you feel do you see, based on the media and the outlook, that do you feel the vibes of independence for the US this year? You know, in looking at the social media, looking at the news and stuff
I haven't
that.
seen anything yet, actually.
Yeah,
but
it's more concentrated on the United States election.
It's more, the hand wringing about Biden and the ignoring of the aspiring autocrats' faults.
I
just don't understand it.
Yeah, so it's the 4th of July, and I said, it's the, as you indicated, the significance within the US, the independence and everything like that. And when you look at the media, especially the mainstream media, you don't see much talk about it. On the mainstream media, mostly you're hearing about the presidential election. You're hearing about whether or not Joe Biden would be stepping down as the nominee for the Democratic Party, and so...
But not the felon. Not the convicted felon.
Somehow. I was watching a debate yesterday, right? It was a little debate among persons. They were Republicans, but they were persons who were pro-Trump, anti-Trump, and they were given their view as to why they are pro-Trump and why they are anti-Trump. It was a very interesting discussion. I really was looking at it. As I said before, from at least the phase that I'm going through now, I'm more interested in like real talk, real news, and sometimes even just looking at the Netflix to see what's on. So I sometimes dibble dabble and look at videos, and that was one that I came across on the YouTube, where a group of young and not so young persons just talking about being Republican and whether or not they're supporting Trump or not. And it shows clearly, as we all know, that you could be in a support of a political party and might not necessarily favor the candidate that is to represent that party. As I listened, there were persons who said, yes, we're for Trump. There are persons who said, no, we don't like what is happening. And the strange thing is, a question came about. If you are a supporter of the Republican Party, but you don't support Trump, and you go to the polls, and the question was asked, is it that you would vote for Joe Biden? And a number of them said yes. So, and the persons on the other side were saying, you can't be Republican if it is that we have a candidate and you vote otherwise and support another. And they were like, yes, we are. We just don't, our ideas just don't align with that particular candidate and what he is doing. So it was a really interesting discussion.
And that's not even unusual, because I've heard many centrist governors and other Republican sensible people, you could say, both famous and semi-famous, said no, they can't vote for him.
Yes. So, and then you look at there's some polls going around, right? Some polls going around, and based on the polls, they're saying that if Biden was to not run this time, they switch it with Michelle Obama, that Michelle Obama is polling much more favorable than Trump.
Yeah,
they're saying a 50%.
But apparently I was reading yesterday, or the day before yesterday, that there is apparently, bad blood might be a strong word, but apparently Michelle Obama became very good friends with I think it was, how's it go? Was it Beau Biden's wife, I think? Mm-hmm. They used to go for walks and so in the morning, right? And
so they bonded.
Yeah, and apparently, was it Beau Biden's wife? Somebody that the Biden family treated really bad. It might, yeah. And because of that, she was a little. Apparently, she's a little. She's a little ticked off at Biden, and they've been trying to get her to go out and campaign for him.
Well, she did based on. Okay, go ahead. Let me
Yeah,
let you finish.
they're trying to get her to go out and campaign for him, and they're saying because she's miffed at how apparently this family member was treated by Biden. So she doesn't really want to go to think for him.
So if that is true, right, it shows you how persons could be in a political party or support a political party, and whatever happened between them, the candidate, or maybe they're not favoring that candidate, sometimes they remain silent rather than to say we're going to talk out against. Sometimes they remain silent, as member, especially as a former first lady, and who's well, as I say first lady, of course, her husband was president, Yes.
I want to ask you a question because this came up during that thing I was reading about that.
Yes.
They were saying, you remember how you saw the coin phrase, when they go low, we go high?
Yes.
And someone was saying, I'm sorry, but that's not the kind of approach we can be taking with Trump. When they go low, we have to go low or lower. And if they manage to get her to come out and that go high, going high while he goes low thing wasn't gonna work. What's your thinking on that approach in let's say campaigning, canvassing, outreach to potential voters, and the whole oppositional dynamic? What do you feel?
Expound.
Let's say you have someone, a Trump-esque kind of person, or someone who's maybe, I don't want to say rough around the edges, but someone who might be a little objectionable in their approach, in their campaigning style, and then maybe they'll do some down and dirty stuff. How would you approach it? Would you be,
if you're a member of a party of that person? Well, it all depends. If it is
okay, let's say for example, you keeping it about issues, but this other person is ad hominem attacks, all kind of sensationalist type theater and drama on the political platform rather than dealing with substantive issues.
And who am I?
And
as in who am I? You're asking the question, but in
what
what seat do I sit?
No, you're the opposing candidate.
Oh, I'm the opposing candidate.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well,
and then you could also answer it as in what you would approve of or disapprove of from politicians.
Well, first and foremost,
that you were thinking about voting for.
First and foremost, the opposing candidate aspect. I don't believe in personal attacks. I believe it should be about the issue. You understand? I believe that you win the war, or you ought to win the war or the battle on who has the best ideas, who can tackle the issues presented and give solutions. I'm not one for mudslinging and one who is for.
But even beyond mudslinging, because with Trump,
assassination,
it's not quite mudslinging. It's just.
And I guess
it's a bizarrely unorthodox. This is a bizarrely unorthodox candidate.
Yeah,
who will say anything.
And the thing, you don't really have control as an opponent. As to who your competitor is, because your competitor is chosen from the opposing party. You understand? So you really don't have a choice as who your competitor is going to be. And we have a caller. Caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, great guys.
Oh, hey.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I don't normally be that early,
Yes.
but I'm listening.
We woke you up.
Every dot cross of the T and every dot. I don't know. I could be wrong as well as I could be right.
Yes.
Well, I'm not Gregory.
Yes.
You know where this go? You know where I think this, when they go low, go high come from?
What's that? Where you think it comes from?
In Proverbs in the Bible, it said, answer not a fool to his folly, else he would be wise in his own conceit. So I look at it that way. Because when that lying man, everything out his mouth is cookie this and cookie that and telling the load of lies, he got on so low that they follow in the Bible instruction. Don't go down the way he go up so. Because up means you're advancing. You're going up.
Are you
But when
equating
go
that?
down,
Are you equating that to the phase that if you get hit on the other cheek? Is that are you equating it to that verse?
I was about to ask you that. It's
well,
very,
if the
very,
Bible
very
says
good.
So if the Bible says so, follow the Bible. But I'm equating it to what it said in Proverbs also.
Okay.
There's a verse in Proverbs say, answer not a fool. When you hear a fool speaking, then you what you should expect out of that fool mouth is foolishness. Because a carpenter does carpentry work. A
Okay.
painter does painting work.
So, what are your thoughts on what is going on? Because currently, persons are pushing. They're saying that the Joe Biden is not capable. There are persons, of course, who are saying that he is and that he has performed well over the past 3 years plus. There are also persons who are looking at possible options. There was a poll that was done recently which showed that Kamala Harris, well, at least one of the polls that says that Kamala Harris is, if she were to go against Trump, I think I saw one where it was 42%, 43%, 42 to Kamala, whereby she is polling at this point in time better than Joe Biden. But there are also polls that indicate that if Michelle Obama was to run, that she would beat Trump hands down.
And
I believe the last. I believe the last. The last.
But she has also indicated, based on what I have read, that she has no interest in that. And based on the other persons, based on a particular poll of all the other persons who could replace Biden, they're saying that Kamala at this point in time, at least based on the information that I looked at just yesterday, indicating that Kamala is best positioned at this time. Because so many things could happen. A week ago, before this debate, there were no talks about a replacement to this extent. You understand? So in the life of politics, you could be doing well today, and then something happens tomorrow, and then it just changes the game.
Well, when it comes to the debate that they had last week, Thursday, some people looking at the clear voice of Joe Biden, and they're making that an issue. But then look, he come back Friday, and he was clearer, and the amount of applause he get from the Friday campaign when he went out on the road. Well, they gave him that because they could understand clearly what he was saying, and the clog-upness of the throat went, so maybe they were basing it on that. But when it comes down to Miss Obama now, if she see that she can beat King Loyo hands down, well, she should go for it, because it is so much more important that when you see someone going to destroy something that is good, you use whatever means legally to stop that perpetrator and get them out of the way. So if she knows she could win, go for it.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution,
Put
Mr.
aside what they did, what the family did to her, whatever. Just put aside. For the love of the country, go ahead and win it.
she probably will eventually, because she strikes me as a very moral and kind of.
You could imagine the kind of campaign she would have if she's the nominee. Go ahead. Sorry.
Before you argue, I once was told that a preacher was coming from church.
Yes.
Just and preach. And he was on the side there, boy, where they were liming and drinking and whatnot. And one of them get up and hit the pastor, slap in the face. And he left side of jaw. And he tell the pastor, turn the other side, the other cheek, let me give you the other hand. So the pastor will take off the jacket and hit the man, whap in the face. Everybody said, but pastor, you're supposed to turn the other cheek. You're the pastor. Do unto others as you will have them do unto you.
Thank you for that little bit of humor.
Okay.
Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah.
Yes. And
Okay,
we encourage you
you
to call
too.
in if you wish to do so again. Thank you so much. Yes, as I was saying, you could imagine the type of campaigning that would be done if Michelle Obama was the nominee. Again, we look at the prospects and what is to come in relation to the election 2024. Today, July 4th, again, the UK decides. So at the end of today, we will know the results. Persons are predicting a very landslide supermajority by the Labour Party in the UK. We could be seeing Prime Minister Starmer, Sunak is the current Prime Minister as it stands. Well, but based on the polls and everything, it seems to be just until the end of this period. And as I have said, and as the news indicate, and as if you do the research, you'll see that the Conservative they've had a really tough time in the 14 years of office, with the Brexit, with the change of leaders. In fact, you remember we had an issue here in St. Kitts and Nevis about during the team unity time when they were sent to the Governor General that there is a different choice as it relates to Prime Minister, and you think about how the UK has, at least in the UK, based on what their provisions are, they have switched prime ministers, the Conservatives, by switching their leaders without triggering an election. And you've seen Liz Truss, you've seen Sunak now, and of course before that was Theresa May, Boris Johnson. They've had 5 prime ministers during the 14 years. That's crazy. Yeah. 5 prime ministers. Yeah, and 2 who didn't go to the polls. Yes.
The buffoon, the plantation owner.
Which one is the plantation owner?
Cameron, back Jamaica. The buffoon, you know who that one is.
I think I know who you're referring to.
Boris.
I figured that you were referring to
the Indian. The lady with the nice jogs. Anyway, whatever.
There were 2 ladies.
I better behave.
There were 2 ladies.
I'm certainly not talking about Miss May.
See, but you so you only remember her for that. You don't remember.
No, I remember her father's stuff. Shortest prime ministerial tenure ever.
Yes.
That I remember.
Yes. And it'll be interesting because what they're saying is that this could be an all-time low for the Conservatives in terms of the number of seats, and if they go down into double digits, then it would be really a question as to whether or not there is survival for the Conservative Party after this election. The Lib Dems, you wonder if they would be now the main opposition party in the UK. Persons are asking a lot of questions. It's really going to it's going to be a turning point.
And do you know there's talk about the Labour has floated the talk about maybe rejoining the EU. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah.
Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning to everybody.
Hey, Gregory.
Hold on.
Jesus' name.
Yes.
Yes.
Culture, what have you done?
Well, I'm calling to put some balance to the discussion.
Okay.
Yes. Some needed balance. Number one, Trump is not any more lying than Biden. None of them have a corner and lying, because Biden as well is full of some whoppers. So, for example, he said when he went into office, there was a 9% inflation that he inherited, which was true. Which was wrong, which was a lie, because it came about 1 year into his presidency, the 9% inflation. And I could go on and name another other different lies where he said China in a situation where they have more retired than working. PolitiFact fact check that was a lie. And there's so many other lies Biden has told. So no, the 2 of them have a corner and line. I know Biden is your guy. Yeah, I know you all want to big him up.
Let me say this. I have not
Who say he's my guy?
Anyway, Gregory, I have not said I'm in support one or the other. What I do, I come here and I present what persons have been saying in relation to it. As I said before, based on the media, they are saying that on the last debate, Trump has been spewing a lot of inadequate statements. I said based on the media, persons are calling for the stepping down of President Biden as the nominee. I have also said that there are persons in his own camp who support him, who'd say it's just a bad day in the debate. Let's look at the 3 years of work. So I have tried to, as much as possible, to of course, there are persons in the Trump corner who say that, all of these charges in terms of the court action and everything that has happened to the former President Trump has been fuel due to politics. So, I mean...
And during the debate, Biden even lied too. Both of them lied during the debate. Like I said, Trump doesn't have a corner and line over Biden and vice versa. Both of them lie a lot. But you know what? You know another lie that Biden said that black people should really really hold Biden feet to the fire for. He said he got arrested while protesting in favor of desegregation. Biden lied. He never was arrested for such. And Biden keep lying too. So it's a Trump thing is about that. I mean,
yeah, but okay,
as a matter of fact, it's a politics thing.
Yes, I remember that. But let's deal with the really. I feel like we should deal with the really pressing issues, because I feel like Trump's lies are a lot more concerning in the practical sense, meaning the things he lies about, and when you
what he lie about that is so worse than Biden lies. Because to me, all of them dangerous. As a matter of fact, Biden have done more destruction to the black family with his 1994 crime bill.
Arguably.
No, it's an
I
arguably.
give you that.
Clear. More incarceration of blacks.
But then, and people allowed to change and self-correct.
Yeah, I guess everybody allowed to change except Trump.
Well, Trump can't change. That's the thing. That's the difference.
That's the whole point. Trump can't change, but Biden could change. Even Bud, the Ku Klux Klan headman, even he could change, but somehow Trump can't change.
But why? What's up with this? Maybe I should call it backhanded support for Trump, because you claim that you don't support Trump. And
that's the thing, when you point out also the wrongs of Biden to balance out everything. Oh, you're supporting Trump. No, you ain't supporting Trump. I just hear people spreading propaganda.
You have AZ here killing himself.
I just,
both of them are dangerous.
It's so interesting to hear the discussion between both of you. It's so interesting, and
Yeah, we're in talking movies, so we're disagreeing right now.
But at least when I thought Gregory, when I thought you were calling in at first, I thought you were going to hit us with the biblical phrases and the biblical word. And but you have taken it, and you have. No.
The Bible said be honest. the Bible said be honest,
yes.
And call wrong, and call right.
Yes.
So even though I'm not quoting scripture, I'm trying to follow through on the honesty that the Bible commands us to be. Not only that, but the scripture that culture quoted, that very same scriptures also said, "Answer a fool according to his folly."
I see. You don't want to see Jamster's face in here. You don't want to see Jamster's face in here when you said that.
No. Well, I'm not calling anybody in there.
No. I don't mean that. No. That's not. That wasn't the expression. Greg, that wasn't what I was thinking. I said I was thinking when you said that I was thinking about how the Bible always throws you for a loop, where sometimes you have like in the same two adjoining couplets seem to contradict each other.
You mean in terms of turning the other cheek and then
Oh, but don't let them get away with the strippiness, you know. You know what I mean. So,
Gregory, what you say to that?
You see, again, when it comes to interpreting any literature, especially ancient literature, but any literature,
You said look at the context.
you have to, not only that, you have to go with context. You have to go with in the language that it was written with. What are the grammatical rules in the language that it was written with? You also have to consider history. You have to consider idioms. Remember, there are things called idioms that, if you take them literally, will mess up your interpretation. You have to take in concern idioms, and that is where a lot of people fall along and Bible interpret, because a lot of what people are interpreting literally were really idioms in the language, and you have to know what they mean. And therefore, history is very important. Also, in shedding light on Bible interpretation, there are things that people need to take in consideration when interpreting the Bible that a lot of people are not trained in.
Okay.
And not only that, when it comes to the Bible, you have to interpret the less clear scripture in light of the clearer scriptures, that sort of stuff. You see, and because the preachers them and pastors them don't be teaching the people the correct way to handle the Bible.
So Gregory, right?
A lot of misinterpretation going around.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thank
go
you for that, Gregory. As you speak, I hear look at my laptop, and one of the things I see flashing on my screen already is that as calls grow for Biden to drop out, new polls shows Michelle Obama would beat Trump. What's your view on Michelle Obama if she were to run?
Again, let me say this. Let me put this. If a person is right and all the issues, but they are on the murdering of innocent children in the womb, I cannot back them.
Okay.
I cannot back them. They could be right on all the other issues, but
so,
if they're
so
wrong,
that one thing is a deal breaker.
Michelle Obama is. You know?
That one thing is a deal breaker. That's what you're saying.
That's a deal breaker for me. But there are so many other wrongs I could name one from them. That ain't
Yeah,
the only
but-
wrong. But I'm just saying, even
But
if that was
what about the
case,
cases? What about the
and the homosexual issue,
yeah?
they're wrong and the way government is supposed to operate.
Well, Gregory,
They're wrong and hello, go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, what about the? Okay, let's take the abortion thing. There are a lot of there are cases where really the best thing to do would be maybe to get rid of the baby because it might endanger the mother's life for whatever reason. Maybe the person is as a hemophiliac, or I've heard all sorts of things. Where because when women are pregnant, blood pressure goes up. They have I think there's this strain of diabetes that comes on during pregnancy. All these other weird things. So what if there's a case where a woman has some condition that if she goes to childbirth it might kill her? So that's still off limits in your mind?
Okay, Trevor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get something straight. The Democrat Party, including Michelle Obama, and Biden, and all of them, Clintons, all of them. Therefore, abortion, no matter the reason.
I don't think you should say that. You should say they're pro-choice.
They
I think that's
They are. As a matter of fact, they're for late-term abortion. They are for impartial abortion. We part the body out and you could still kill the child. The Democratic Party, including all of these people, Obamas, the Clintons, and so, they're for abortion for any and every reason. So that ain't, what you're saying ain't even pertain to them. No, I think if a woman is in that situation, and when I say abortion, I'm talking about the intentional killing of the baby. When I think if a woman is in that situation, I think nothing wrong in taking the baby from her. But if the baby can be saved because of advanced medical technology and that sort of stuff, medicine and that sort of stuff, I think everything should be done to preserve the baby. But if it cannot be preserved because we don't have the medicine, well, that's another thing. But under that situation, under that situation where if you could preserve the baby, you would have, then that's not abortion in the way that I am applying the word or the term.
Okay, Gregory, we have to take a break.
Intentional killing, murdering.
Also, thank you, Gregory. We're going to take a break, but before we go to the break,
You too.
it's Troy's birthday today as well. So, Troy from Farm Report.
Happy birthday,
Yes,
Troy.
Happy birthday, Troy. Do have a wonderful day. Yes, so I also want to...
You can save the cake for next week.
Yes. I also want to express my condolences on behalf of the families in Old Road. There's the Williams family. There's also the Lewis Berkeley family in Old Road. We have the funeral service for two members of Old Road. We have Vincent Williams today at the Anglican Church St. George's, and we have Pam from Old Road as well at the Old Road Ebenezer Methodist Church. I do wish to, again, as I said, I express my deepest condolences and sympathy to the family. These are persons who the community know well, and so, it's really a community thing, so condolences as well. Condolences, as I said. Yeah, we'll take the short break, Jamsa.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Welcome to the Mango Festival. We got sweetness overload. Mango Festival. It's a treat for everyone. Mango Festival. A taste of name is naturally Mango Festival. Mango Fest right here in Green City. Give me little mango. A summer lime and a nunnago sweet. So give me little mango. Boy, girl, woman and man go. Give me little mango. A summer lime and a nunnago sweet. So give me little mango. Join the action, Mango Festival.
Nevis Mango Festival from July 4th to July 7th. 10th anniversary in Queen City, Nevis.
Mango Festival. Mango Fest right here in Queen City.
Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our essential everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less with our essential everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
And we are back. It's 8:35. 8:35, and
Yeah, and as we took that break, you look at the advert, the Mango Festival, that's happening in Nevis, as you say, from July 4th to July 7th.
oh, it's today.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
July, okay.
yeah, July. So the Mango Festival, mango is one of my favorite fruits.
Yeah, me too. Me
yes.
too. That's my favorite fruit. Straight up.
Yeah.
Straight up favorite fruit.
Which type of mango is your favorite?
Actually, I don't know if you were here. You were here last week when we found out what we call grafted. I didn't realize that was a Julie. You were here? That's a
here.
Julie mango.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that until they said it last week.
I am a grafted lover of all mangoes.
So you're a Julie mango lover.
I think grafted is king. You understand?
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. And the Polly is a close second, right?
Yeah.
Or like we like to say, the Nevis mango.
Yeah. Grafted. Nothing beats a grafted.
They're better for cooking though, because they're not as stringy as the
others.
Yeah. Like the Nevis mango tastes really good for eating, but
yeah,
in terms of cooking with that, you have all this. Like say you try to make a smoothie from. You have all the fiber and stuff.
I think the grafted just has the best texture,
perfect.
the best
texture,
taste,
everything. Yeah,
everything.
For
Yes.
real. Caller, go right ahead.
Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, Island.
Hey, what's
Hey,
up?
good morning, Jam Down.
I just sipping some good reason, some good ganja reason this morning.
Are you having a slice of mango with it?
plea with Gregory.
Yes.
Trump was and Rainey and the guy there, Biden. So when Gregory trying to come to Island T and pay pictures, they're no better than my man. Anybody call black people anywhere over the world shit-ass countries? No, my Gregory, I stop fooling the black population. Trump is a racist. Trump come from the Nazis, you know. In Greece or Greek, you know, wherever he from, you know. Wherever he Trump them ain't like black people, boy. Gregory. Anyway, we want to move from that. Trump, just like the Prime Minister here, I'm asking him to go down the cabin home and look at the situation down there. Where the patient them down there, standing with pizza cardboard is shameful. And when I hear this vagabond boy around the round table talking, and so much things to do with poor people money, I don't want to make people feel like they're doing all kind of things. And the simple things them they should be doing for the poor people they ain't doing. Go down the cabin home, worthless Joe, worthless Dr. Joe. Go down the cabin home. You're the minister. Hell, go down the cabin home and deal it down there. You need a proper gate and attached for security. You need the whole security building need to fix properly. You need to agree in the yard. Yours money is $900 million you accumulate when the farmer government left there. Everybody telling us so much right. And he used to be in the ear. Cousin Timothy, he do this and he do that and he set up this and he set up that. But stop the lie. I know you very long, you know. I remember when you used to be on top of 4th Street. Right by Zamba and Lil Nut and Douglas Place. Saying Journal. For Louis Farrakhan. You're the Roseland. You ain't thinking Kitchen. You're thinking Farron. But I tell it. Have a good day, Island T.
Thank you for your contribution.
Okay, until next.
Yes, we have another caller.
Caller, go ahead. Okay. He's hoping that caller will call back.
So we know that Hurricane Beryl, it says here in this article that I was looking at, it says more deaths reported in Grenada following the passage of Hurricane Beryl.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard someone died in. I heard someone died in
Jamaica.
Venezuela too.
Oh, Venezuela.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi, caller, go ahead.
Not
Northern Venezuela.
Okay, go ahead, caller.
Yeah, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
First of all, that your background theme instrumental, is it Spyro Gyra? What's it, Damster?
Oh, Brothers Johnson.
Oh, it's Brothers Johnson, the instrumental?
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah. The problem with making a decision on one idea or policy is that you end up being an extremist. So that if you're going to say no abortions, period, not even to save the life of the mother, that's got to be extremist. And so that I think is the problem. You never find an issue, a group of policies that is going to be consistent with your values, your ideology, personally, okay? And so you have to make a choice. I think what Biden and Trump present is stability. Biden, I think, presents stability. You kind of know what you're going to get, whereas Trump can be very erratic. Do you really want somebody who is steady, or do you want somebody who is erratic? And could be downright irrational at times, right? I think that is what is the quandary that the American voters find themselves in.
And I'm really surprised at some of the hysterical hand wringing I'm seeing from people who should know better, and people who should be able to see the forest for the trees.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, really? I mean, you know, I mean, yeah, I mean,
you absolutely don't know where this man is going to go. Well, you know the extreme positions that he has taken. He has said from day one he's going to be a dictator, essentially. I mean, that alone should scare people, right? And this recent court ruling makes it even worse because it basically suggests that he can get away with virtually anything.
I mean, this guy actually said, I'm going to be a dictator on day one, but only day one. I'm going to be a retribution. All this crap. Yeah, I mean, come on.
It's crazy that's even contemplated. I do believe actually that Biden should drop out. I honestly don't think.
Oh, you think he should drop out?
Yeah, I think he should drop out. I think what should be on the discussion now is the best way to do that. Okay, and it's not about the survival of the party.
It's about the country, right?
I don't think that the country itself should be run by someone who is obviously past his prime. Okay? It's not a ceremonial position. Okay? He has to take real decisions, make real decisions. His judgment must be top-notch. All those things. Because it's the United States, and the United States is the most powerful country on earth. We can't have somebody who is not at his peak, his or her peak, running a country like that. You know, it's dangerous. And as for who should replace him, I don't think I'd go with Michelle Obama.
Well, she doesn't want it anyway.
So she says. But, you know, if everybody start galvanizing in the Democratic Party, can start galvanizing around, I'm sure she'd change her mind. But I do think I do think Kamala Harris would probably make a better choice to replace him because it avoids a messy runoff with a lot of different candidates coming forward.
Exactly. And the other thing, Az mentioned the poll a while ago. And I had heard that last night. I remember the first thing that crossed my mind when I heard the poll where they said she was basically even. I thought, well, good. At least that's a starting point, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
let's
point. The thing with being vice president is that you tend to be kept in the background because they don't want you to overshadow the president, to eclipse the president. And so we don't know her real positions. We've never heard her speak on items of
exactly.
We don't know.
So she's starting off basically even. If she's starting off basically even, and then she becomes she's now at the top of the ticket, and she starts campaigning, then you'll see the numbers start to change, and hopefully for the better, right?
And actually, more people would be interested in that race, actually.
Yes.
And then is when debates are going to matter.
Yes, I was thinking about that last night too. She'll destroy him in the debate.
Huh?
She would destroy him.
That's what I feel too. That's exactly what I feel. and actually, I kind of think that there's an undertone of misogyny with Trump, and that is going to throw him out from the beginning.
You know, before just to also weigh in on the discussion that you said. Well, the discussion that you're speaking, what you're discussing now. Sorry. So someone was saying that one of the persons on the news, they were saying that one of the media platforms, they were saying, you know, the issue here is one of abortion. And as a woman, as a Democrat nominee, she would be able to carry that message far better than many persons, especially against Trump, who is anti-abortion.
To be quite honest, though, I don't see why that is a defining issue. This issue of abortion. To be quite honest, I think there are a lot of other more important fish to fry than that one.
Yes.
But I mean, it's people you're dealing with. They have their strong views about that issue, And so, of course, it's going to present itself.
Yeah, and
but
I think
right now that's being overshadowed by Biden. I mean, suppose. I mean, you have this time between the between now and the election. If Biden slips up even just one more time, that's it. You know. That's it. I mean, sure, you could say that it was a bad debate night.
Yeah.
But you know how it's difficult to recover from that in the first place, right? Because it's like you can always replay clips on that ad nauseum over and over again, and that must have an impact on the voters. Okay.
So why
he's damaged? I think his damage goods, to be quite honest.
But why?
I think they should look at Kamala Harris as
yes, but this is the thing I don't get. So why is it? Why is people's response to both candidates so
different?
Yeah, I mean, this guy can get away with anything. I don't understand it.
Yeah, you know,
I
he
do
can
not
get away with
understand
anything.
it.
Well, in the same way that
extremists.
In the same way that Gregory comes and Gregory says, you know, yes, Gregory, and there are persons who say too, you know, that, you know, they would say that Biden, his past isn't clean either, and so there are persons who are going to, you know, for whatever reason, when they look at both candidates, they're going to come up with their own reason why they support one or the other or neither.
Well, that's true, but which reminds me of the start at the start of the program when you were saying when what Michelle Obama had said, when they go low, you go high. You would think that taking the moral high ground would get you where you want to go, but actually the converse is true. When you take the moral high ground and everybody else taking the low ground, you're the one who gets trampled. You know, it's like rats going after food. You have one rat trying to piece out the crumbs to all the different rats trying to get at it. That rat don't stand a chance. You could talk all you want about fairness and moral high ground and all of that. It just won't stand a chance in an environment like that. And that is why it is so important that we concentrate on systems rather than personalities. And, you know, you hear, for instance, the current government talking so much about the fact that they've made so much changes in integrity laws and so on. And that's great. That's a great start. If the application does not, is not in the spirit of the law, right? You can find all kinds of loopholes to get around, to work around it. And that is what I'm fearful of, that although we have these laws, enforcement, one, is a problem, and secondly, if you don't have people who are going to be shall we say, robust enough, fearless enough, brave enough to make sure that the law is obeyed, the laws are obeyed, and will not pander to the politicians, who after all is who we're after. You know, we don't want any abuse of power and corruption. If we don't have people like that, the law is useless. There will always be a workaround, right? And so that's why I say we should concentrate more on the systems rather than the personalities. Yes, the personalities are important because they make decisions based on their personality and their worldview and ideology and those kinds of things. So it's not that I'm saying that it's not important, but what's more important is having the checks and balances against whatever abuse they may be tempted to do while in power, while they're exercising the power that we give them, right? And so that I think applies to the state as well, right? You can't, if you had, the good thing about the state, I think, was that it was difficult before to get a dictator because there were so many checks and balances. You had the Supreme Court, you had Congress and the Senate. You know, you had a lot of layers that can provide checks and balances. The thing is, as you've seen with the Supreme Court, And you see why Trump was intent on making those appointments. Appointments like those, which are really for life, should be really thoroughly vetted, and it should not depend on just one person, the influence of one person, to appoint these guys to the Supreme Court, because they have monumental, what they decide have monumental consequences, right? So there is that loophole, and no democracy is perfect, right? But you still have to try to aim for it, right? Otherwise, we can fall by the wayside pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for your contribution, Mr. Matt.
As always, yeah.
So I look at the news as well, and I want to send congratulations to the students who participated in the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis Tourism Junior Minister Tourism competition. And it says here, and reading from the article, it says here, Miss Carty Gonzalez, a student of the Bastille High School, is the 2024 Junior Minister of Tourism for St. Kitts.
Yeah, heard that this morning.
She amassed a total of 366 points, walking away with a winning trophy and plaque. And so Gonzalez will represent St. Kitts at the Caribbean Tourism Organization Regional Tourism Youth Congress in the Cayman Islands in September 2024. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she competed against the other high school students, and here is the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis sponsored Tourism Youth Congress. It was held July 2nd. That was 2 days ago. In the second place, there was Ethan Keynes of the Virtuals High School. He amassed a total of 324 points. And third was Mete Connor Archibald of the Washington Archibald High School, amassing a total of 307 points. So congratulations to all schools, everyone involved, every person who made it possible, and to the winner of the competition and our representative for the competition that is going to take place in September, the Regional Tourism Minister competition, Miss Carrie Gonzalez. Congratulations. We have a caller. Caller, you're live on Island T.
Hi, good morning, Azard. Good morning, Jamster.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good and giving thanks for life. We're enjoying some of the weather from the second system that was passing, and it's not a lot of wind, high winds to it, so we're enjoying the rain. As much as I'm a stickler for the exertion of women, taking their rightful place in society, do you really think that the American public really want a woman president? As much as I'm a stickler for all things women. Greg, we beg to differ, because from a biblical perspective, we feel like women should not hold such lofty offices. And so here we are now. Shall we say we are in a conundrum, or we are in a dilemma when it comes to the American presidency, the office, that Trump might just win by default? That's fair?
Those are
Trump
interesting
might just
questions.
win by default because of the male chauvinistic society that they have built, and they will guard it.
But based on the polls, remember we have to go with the scientific evidence. Based on the polls, those might be considerations for some persons, but based on the polls that they did just recently, let us remember that if those polls are a true reflection of the election at this point in time, she is weighing better than Biden since the debate, and she is based on
Vice President.
the vice president, and based on what
you need to get Trump. For instance, do a comparative analysis as to some of the states.
They did
well, like Michigan. Some of the states that he did well, he was like he won by 10 points.
I think they did that, before you go on, Before you go on, I think Michigan was one of the states that they did a poll since the last debate, or even before, and it was not as well for Biden. I think they did a poll for Michigan. So if you're talking about state to state,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
I'm following it
Yeah.
from that perspective, listening to the analysts them, and doing a comparative analysis from state to state to state.
Mhm.
This 1 and 2 point, this back and forth with the 1 and 2 point
Yes.
centuries with him and Trump, it's not good enough. Considering the conviction, you would have thought that after the conviction, the federal conviction of all 34 counts, you would have thought that, hey, this would have been like, hey, the horses has already bolted.
But you see,
You know?
you make an interesting point with those convictions, but you see a lot of persons who support him feel as though that even the judicial system was politically influenced. So there are persons who see those convictions, and many of them see it, who support Trump, as something that was politically motivated. And that is why, if you listen to persons who support him, that is one of the reasons that even though you see those convictions, there are still persons supporting him because they feel that those were politically motivated.
But herein lies some of my argument. These are some of the tenets of the society of the United States. Persons will be convicted because of the lack of not having the money to having a good lawyer to represent them. And persons would be annulled because of the money that they have to don't convict them. They're not basing on the act, They are basing on who you are in society, and thus a felon could be a president. It doesn't matter if a felon is a president, right? We know that these things happen in our society. We know, you name it, from the era of Al Capone, with the illegality of the alcohol and so forth and everything. We know that this is how the society is built, but we're going to be cautious in the eyes of the public. But underneath the derma, the epiderma, underneath the underlying factors, tenets, is that this is the society. We don't want a woman. We prefer a felon in the office. We don't want a woman, because this is how we were built. And so even though the woman will do a better job, and I'm not stickler for that, you know me, it's not going to fly when it comes to our that society. It's far from it. I'm afraid to say so. Thanks for listening.
And it's sad to see.
Thank you for your contribution.
It's sad to see this country that we hold up as this beacon of all things democracy and.
But isn't that a advantage, and maybe it's a disadvantage? Democracy is the point of view of
No, meaning what I meant was this country that we hold up as a
Mm-hmm.
beacon of almost everything, and you've had countries that people probably consider backwaters and backward and maybe not so progressive, who have had female leaders and even multiple female leaders. It's very interesting.
I mean, I don't think that's an indictment on the United States.
I think it is.
I think that they have the structures in place. We have a call, but just to finish your point, we had there was Hillary Clinton. Hello.
Navin.
the
Manager.
Navin.
Tell him you're with me. Tell you want a discount.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Hello. That was
that probably was a mistake.
A mistake, probably.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying there were persons, with Hillary Clinton. She was the person closest to being the first female female president.
Mm-hmm.
But there were persons who were strongly against her too.
Exactly.
Not just being a woman. I don't think being a woman at the point in time, based on I think she was carrying some of the baggage from her husband's presidency.
Yeah,
she was very
the
involved.
woman was a significant factor too.
I don't. Maybe it was for some persons, but I think also too she was very she, if you look at the history, she wasn't just a first lady that was behind the wall. She had her own flair. She had her own
office.
Exactly. So
apparently.
I don't want to say it was.
She was the you could say she was the first feminist.
Yeah,
first lady in a sense.
And it was almost as if you could say maybe like, yeah, there's Bill Clinton, but there's also Hillary Clinton. They come together as a branded
What's going
team.
on in this?
So I think that with her, and then there was the talk about, the institutional politician, and I think there was some sort of appetite for something else other than the institution. You understand?
Yeah.
So I think there were other things too. So I don't think it was just the female card. I think there were other things.
I think you're done playing. Not that you're deliberately doing it, but
I think there were a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Look at two persons brought up issues whereby there was the whole Bill Clinton's
let's take this call first before
presidency was mirrored in the latter when it comes to the whole Monica Lewinsky situation, all of those things.
Yeah.
And there were critics that said that, of course she supported her husband, and so, but there were critics, and I think even the Republican Party used that, whereby they said that she was silent in something like that and in support of her husband. Could she have, it's her husband. So there were a lot of questions, and I think based on the whole Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, I think she was carrying somewhat what her husband had done good and not so good. So I think it was not just being female. I think there were other considerations as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes.
Man, greetings and love,
Hey, what's up?
Yes, greetings.
Yes, Rasta. Mr. McMahon, right, earlier caller, we're talking about the need to change the system. Look at systems instead of personalities, I want to agree with him on that. You know what I mean? Because when you look at it, before me go on, right, me ask that one question, right? Consider the politics we are dealing with today, right? How do you see that helping humanity to evolve? Because we have to evolve. Human beings have to evolve, right? So how is this present modality of governance helping to achieve that? Right? I want to let them answer that the fly, man.
Well,
I want to say something, right? No. The governance system where I absorb a going in the earth, right? It's just a whole heap of warmongering, eh? I don't see no politician condemning the powers them were stirring up war, eh? Or leading to the destruction of people. I don't see, for example, when you look at what's going on in Israel, in Palestine, I must say, where the Israeli them destroying the Palestinians, them. I don't see the outcry coming from these other governments around the world as to say, well, that they're wrong. You understand? So I'm saying that's the style of governance I see. Once you got the power, you do what you want with people, right? And in my mind, I think the governance is supposed to be helping people, something put together to really help people to evolve and advance in life, right? So, I want to answer that.
Okay, before you go, right? Because I want to quickly answer, but I would like your input and maybe interaction in answering this question as well. The system that we have now, especially I could look at Sinkers and Nevis. We found it's a democratic state. We have elections whereby persons can put themselves forward and persons can elect the representative based on they have a choice. They have different persons vying for candidacy and representation to become the MP in various constituencies. So the people have a choice, one, to elect, and also the people within the various constituency have an opportunity to put themselves forward to serve. I think that, what we have now, is it a perfect system? No, it's not. Nothing is perfect. Nothing human is perfect without error. So is it better than our alternative? A dictatorship? I think so. What would be your alternative?
Okay, before I go to my alternative, right? Now you say we have a system where we can elect our representatives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, electing our representative, I don't think is the problem, right? The problem is that after you don't elect these representatives and from the government, right?
Yeah.
Then now pay allegiance to somebody else, not to the people who made them the government. So
Okay.
that they're showing.
Before you go on, you said they make allegiance to somebody else, and I just want to understand you. It's not to be critical or anything. I just want to understand so you're clear. When you say they make allegiance to someone else, what do you mean?
Well, and when they got the inauguration, talking about our regional farm of governance,
Yeah.
when we make, maybe not in all the countries, but a lot of them, right, the allegiance is to either the king or the queen of England.
Okay. So you're proposing that we become a republic, whereby
Our republic I deal with. What I'm proposing a governance system, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is for the people. That that help develop the people.
So what is your recommendation?
Well, Rastafari, Rastafari has set a model already, eh?
Mm-hmm.
In Jamaica, in Pinnacle, Leonard Howell.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Set the first model of a Rastafari governance.
Mm-hmm.
System. So there is a system that caters for people.
And how is that? How is that different to the system that we have now?
Well, the system respect you as an individual, as a person.
And how does it do? How does the system do that?
How the system does that?
Yeah. How?
How do you respect people as people?
Yeah, you said the system does that.
Natural behavior in man, anything from that is abnormal, we're supposed to get respect and love.
So how does the present system not do that?
Well, okay, for example, right, how much of us know anything about rights, about constitutional rights, I mean, it's like, look how I start to go to for practice the spiritual way of life, you know what I mean? So, what I'm saying, we glorify a lot of the non-important things, and the things that are going to help human beings to grow, being overlooked. You see? I just want to say this about the being allegiance to our next government. That we're showing now, right, that this government we have, this idea, is an extension of the crown. Our government is an extension of the monarchy.
Okay, so, and that is why I'm asking, are you in favor, therefore, for a republic? Also, you talk about the system, that this is the Rastafari...
Republic means you don't got to deal with them.
Yes.
You don't got to deal with it. And then now you can... But you see now, the governance, your government now, right, is set in a bigger space then.
Yeah.
A more established thing. Because when colonialism governed the earth, they set up they establish how they're going to govern the earth.
Okay, so we're talking about the system that's in place now, and you said that the system that is in place now.
Based on that, the system we have now, we based on that, so we have to make up in our mind to directly turn away totally from it.
Okay. So I'm trying to understand you because you talk about Rastafarian.
Overstand.
I'm trying to be on the same page with you. So you're talking about a Rastafarian system, right? How is the Rastafarian system different in terms of election than the one that we currently have? You talk about the allegiance to the, go ahead. So how
choosing your representative?
Yeah, how won't we have to choose a Rastafarian representative the same way?
Yeah, one thing. My problem is not.
Then the problem isn't the system. The problem perhaps is the persons. Is the persons who we elect, because you could still a Rastafarian individual could put themselves up for election
not in the system, yeah.
Why not?
The system is a dirty system, because a dirty system is going to cover up you. As much as you feel you clean out and you're good, go in it and you're going to see. It's like you're going in oil, go swim.
But how would the system corrupt you?
Well, let me ask you them. May I ask you a question? Who established the system in the earth? In the down pressers them? In a set of co-op man? Could a co-op man bring a good system?
But this whole system that we have is one that is founded on democracy. The one that you elect the person.
But I take his point. I mean, I guess what he's saying is that, okay, democracy, aspirationally, it's something we aim for.
So what is the alternative?
But that at the core of it, because of human nature.
Then that's not the system. That's human nature.
No. But what I mean is, because of human nature, nothing really works.
But then that's not the system. That's human nature.
That's
something, please.
Because
it's something I guide them for reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what I want to say forward, right, is that when I say Rastafari system, I'm not talking about selecting Rastas, just like we select politicians today. You know, I say you're replacing the politicians with Rasta, but the system remains the same. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so what system? Tell me the system, the Rastafarian system. Tell me, explain, tell us.
Well, the system is God's system, His Majesty's system. You know, I mean, man have to know themselves first, because you must be responsible. You must be a responsible individual.
But then that's the individual.
People who are not responsible.
Okay.
Remember, you know, when you're governing, you ain't just responsible for your life. You know, you're responsible for all them life.
But listen. I understand what you're saying in that regard. But then it points back not to a system per se, but to the individual.
No, it's the system. Because the system allows the individual to function in the way he does. Yeah?
But you're okay. Tell me.
Let me tell you. We have a system where Israel could just go and annihilate the Palestinian, and it's cool.
I don't agree with that. Just like that. I mean, there are international laws. There are international laws. There are sanctions. There are different things. So. That is a whole grand scheme of things. I understand what you're saying in terms of things that are happening.
We're part of that. We're not exempted from that.
But that's a grand scale. Let's take it even. Let's just take it on the Sinkers and Nevis level. Let's look at it that way, right? Because that is something that we could control more so. So, what system are you proposing? Give me a clear
system.
But what system is that? That's all I'm asking.
You own yourself. You have to own yourself in the system. You don't own yourself now. You have to own yourself because you have to give God an account for your life. But you must be responsible for your life. You have to take charge of your life.
But you're saying what one should do, but you have not presented to me a clear guideline as to the system that you're suggesting.
Well, for you to get a clear guideline, right? You're going to research Leonard Howell Pinnacle.
Okay, but then even in not searching that, and you're proposing a system, you should be able to tell me what that system is.
Well, I probably can maybe at another time, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I didn't really come out prepared to
That's
tell
fine.
You
okay, then.
the details of the system, you know what I mean? But I point you to Leonard, where you can go and get further information if you desire that.
Okay, then. No problem.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, man. But we stop it there for now, right?
Yes, cool. Have a great day, okay?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Take care of yourself.
I think Dwyer was saying he was trying to get in. So Dwyer, if you're listening, call us. We actually had you on, but I think you probably
it seemed like he was at some supermarket.
I think his mouth hand coordination got the better of him because he was talking to somebody.
Yeah, he
and
was.
then he hung up.
Yes. I thought it was an error.
That's what I was thinking.
You know, sometimes you have your phone in your pocket.
Yeah.
And it calls.
Yeah.
By accident. You know, the only thing is that it called the station that brought him on air.
Hey, call go right ahead.
Yes.
Yes, Azard.
Yes.
The brother is right, you know. The Rastafari system is equal rights and justice for all.
Yeah, but tell me how that works Tell me how that works. Yes.
When we vote, there's got to be a Rasta constituencies.
Mm-hmm.
But when we walk for these vagabonds, we want them to look for both Labour, PAM, UPP.
But
We want them to look for everybody.
But jam down. How is that any different to the system that we have now? It boils down to the individual.
It's quite a different because the colonial system still working.
But then,
the legion when the Rastaman was just telling you about, it's still active in these islands.
Okay.
And we gotta ban it down.
Okay, jam down.
Yeah, we move it.
Yes, I understand. I personally am for a republic. You understand, the Republic of Saints and Nevis. But
the republic, you got to get your parameters in place for republic.
But jam down.
When into a republic, you got to educate the population about the republic and what to expect going forward.
Okay.
There's a lot of things, you know.
But jam down. You talk about.
Give me a break, Azard.
Go ahead.
You don't want when you're going to the republic. Personality just hold we hand and carry us into republic. We got to deal with this step by step and deal with the poor people problems.
Okay.
Too much nonsense I've seen in this country.
Yeah, jam down. But I do not see how the system we have now cannot address what you're talking about. I think.
Young vagabonds want come rich in 13, the rebels.
Then it boils down to what I'm saying. Human. It boils down to the individual that holds the position and not the system.
The worst I see these young boys here, besides Samuel, the rest of them.
It boils down. Yes.
Continue do what you're doing for poor people.
Okay.
Because people is talking about you, and people. You see that the young girl, Miss Elena? Good morning, Jacqueline in St. Croix. A big fan of Island Tea. Miss Elena, don't care when the bourgeois them try to do you, Miss Elena. If it's to jump up money and get you on a registration, so people want to hear you. Have a good day, Azard.
Have a good day, jam down. You see, I am not proposed to, persons are suggesting system. But I'm asking clearly, what is the system that you're suggesting? You say Rastafarian system. But what is the Rastafarian system? That's all I'm asking. And then you talk about equal rights and everything. But, I mean, we have a constitution that, supports rights of individuals. So at the end of the day, it seems to be a human nature, the person who's in the seat, that is the issue. We have a caller. Caller, you're live on Island T. Go ahead.
Hey, caller. Go right ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, hey. Yeah, you're on.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hi,
hey.
Good morning.
Is it okay for me to weigh in on the U.S. presidential discussion?
Yes, of course. We welcome your contribution.
Okay, thanks. The Republican Party has changed dramatically over the last 15 years. You all remember when Mr. Obama began to run, you saw the emergence of something called the Tea Party. You all remember that?
Yep.
The Tea Party was essentially constituted of, excuse me, rednecks, bigots, racists, and the Bible Belt zealots who tried to get a foothold in the Republican Party. And they eventually succeeded. In that scenario, in that culture, because this is why you see Trump has appealed to that particular cohort, which is the biggest cohort now of the Republican Party. This is why he can say anything, because the Bible Belt people believe that he really is sent by God. This is the level of fanaticism that we have,
and delusion,
and lack of reason. So they and all of the major Republican politicians, they have to kowtow to Trump in order to preserve their own seats. It's all about selfishness and seats for us. Now, in that kind of scenario, while you are hearing a lot of negative things towards Biden, I don't want it to be lost on us. This very important point, Jamster and Azard, and I don't know if you ladies there.
No, she's off
One
today.
of the things that these Republican zealots who have taken over the party don't want to happen is for a black woman. It's not just as Africa says, a woman. They will not tolerate a black woman in the White House. So regardless of how skillful Kamala Harris is, and whatever other political and administrative skills and virtues she may possess, she will not be a winnable alternative to Mr. Biden.
You don't think so?
No, because the cohort is so big, and the negativity even outside of that cohort. Can you imagine this America electing a black woman to be the president? Can you all imagine that? If you can, then you live in a world that I don't know. Please explain it to me. They're not going to take it.
Well, this is a good time to bring up the parallel the parallel of the UK question. They have elections today.
Yeah,
and I am of the firm belief that there's a similar dynamic at work there where I don't think they're gonna vote for an East Indian. Even though
they're not going to. I mean,
yeah,
once they have a chance, because there's an underlying layer of racism and bigotry. This is why Brexit succeeded. But Kamala Harris doesn't have a chance in hell to win the US presidency. Not in this mindset that you have so many American voters having. You must remember, in spite of all of the communications and media and all kind of things like that, what has been cultivated really is a mentality of foolishness, not reason.
Absolutely.
And one of the reasons that created this, one of the things that created this backlash actually was Mr. Obama's presidency.
Yes.
Because
thank you.
This was used by the manipulators of the minds, people like Bannon and these people, to reinforce the determination of the bigots and the zealots and the Tea Party people and these religious fanatics who dwell in the world of, there's a word called unreason, if not, let's make it up, and racism. When they said, never again, a black man, never again, worse so a black woman. So I think the Democrats are in for a tough time. And then I think it won't take long if Trump wins. Oh, Christ, I forget to go very place. For the voters to suffer buyer's remorse, and then Trump will have, if he wins, an extremely miserable presidency. Unfortunately, it takes time for big countries like this to get it right. So that it also, what you see happening in America, because if you have voters who are supporting somebody like Trump, who, if he has his way, will underscore American isolationism, which weakens America, and pulls out of NATO and other things like that, which are strategic shields for the American interests, that will only expedite the ascendancy of China and Russia. And one last thing, there was a movie many years ago called The Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah.
A man was running for the US presidency, but he was fronting for the interest of China. Mr. Trump, whether intentionally or whether he's compromised by the Russians or not, is the Muscovite candidate. When you hear far right-wing American politicians condemning the European leadership and praising Trump and praising Putin, then you understand that these people are a danger to the security and stability, not just of the United States, but of whatever Western alliances there are. So it is the most dangerous thing that could happen for the United States and the West is for Trump to win, and he will win, regardless of. I think the only person who can save the Democrat. And you see another thing, why they're so hesitant about Biden, even for a second term, and this includes some Democrats. If Biden dies during his second term, Kamala Harris will be the president, and they don't want that.
Yep.
You understand?
Yep.
So this thing, this thing is.
And it bears mentioning. This also bears mentioning. You talked about the Tea Party, the rise of the Tea Party, basically the rise of the right, and you just talked about the you know how Trump is a sort of Russian Manchurian candidate, which I totally agree with. And then look at what's going to happen look at the French runoff that's going to determine whether the right wing party led by Marine Le Pen is actually Le Pen, I guess, is going to take over. So then what you'll basically have, you could say, the European wing of Trumpism. You realize you're going to have the European wing of Trumpism running France.
You know, I'll be interested
and putting a spokes in Ukraine's wheel.
You know, I'll be interested if Gregory were to
not
call
only in Ukraine
at the same time with Dwyer, and they have a discussion because they both,
will change, because you see this Nazi, fascist kind of move gaining ground in Europe, and it's all based on it's all based on racism, bigotry, and ignorance. And that is where the world is headed. I mean, with the greatest of respect. And this is how empires fall. Any self-respecting country would vote for Donald Trump. Any intelligent voter. I mean, Mr. Biden in a comatose state, in an ICU, with good people around him, can run the country better than a healthy Trump. And Trump is not healthy. If you listen to Trump talk, Trump can maintain a point. He does what you call in psychology, he speaks tangentially. He runs from one thing to the other. And you hear him speak on the platform. This is not a mind that you can trust. I mean, look at the White House, look at the Supreme Court. He has loaded up the Supreme Court with poppy shows and bigots like him.
And then I was hearing yesterday
and when they talk about being the #1 democracy in the world, which, I mean, it's a joke, it's a farce, and it will get worse if you have people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and this other fella, Johnson, who is the Speaker of the House, and Lindsey Graham, and all of these people. Let me tell you something. The American empire is in crumble mode, and it's because of this zealotry and bigotry and ignorance. So, just to wrap up quickly, Kamala Harris is a very able person. She's the vice presidential candidate. You don't know how many people prayed, as much as they did not like Biden. You don't know how many people prayed for him not to die during that first term. Because they didn't want her to be president. And it's only going to get worse now that Trump has momentum. They will never say it on the platform. They will never say it in a TV interview. But they will want a black woman be American president. Thank you for your time.
Okay, Dwyer. All right, great. And AZ had to take off, and it's 9:30. I just got joined by you remember I promised, I ordered anointed to come back today.
Oh yeah, brought the energy yesterday. Like
Yeah.
the after show was better than the show.
Okay, we have a bunch of calls. So,
I'll
but
take
let
them.
me,
Let's take
but let
them.
me wait. No, let me take the break now.
All
Get the
right.
break out of the way and come back. It's 9:32, so I'll take the break and callers are coming right back. We've got to pay the bills.
TDC Financial Services. We're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with it all. TDC Financial Services. We are strong. TDC Financial Services. This is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, let me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Feel the magic happening. Campari. Taste.
Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
And I'm back with my boy, Island T, and AC had to take off, but we got some calls coming. So let's take those. Callers, come on. Island T, go right ahead, caller. Okay, I'm sure we're gonna get some calls. We had a bunch. Oh, here we go. On to the next. Hi, caller. Hi.
Morning.
Yes, morning. Yes, hello.
Hey, what's up?
I'm calling in again. Does people know that when Trump got elected, it was on the strength of the black vote? That Trump had got more black votes than any other Republican candidate for a long time. I think the last time somebody got it probably was in the 60s, the percentage of black votes that Trump got. And that this election, it is being projected that it will increase the black vote for Trump. When we're talking about Nazism, the Ukraine army publicly is displaying the Nazism with the symbols that they're wearing on the uniform. And not only that, but very interested.
But Gregory, you're making that sound. You're making that sound as though this is like, if the UK army is 50 people, you're making it sound like it's like 48 of the 50 doing that. I mean, come on, man. We all know that's not true.
Well, even before Ukraine, as a matter of fact, before Ukraine was invaded by China, Russia, before Russia went into Ukraine, news reports of the major news reports used to describe the army as a Nazi army because of the display and backing for Nazism.
Listen, there was one. I don't even know what unit size it was. But let's say, okay, there was one unit.
Something like that.
There was something. There was one unit that was maybe you could say flirting with Nazi ideas or whatever. But you can't transpose that across the whole.
The whole has been displaying Nazi symbols on the uniform.
I mean, this is just wild to me. I mean, the president of Ukraine is Jewish, for Christ's sake. I mean, you sound like Putin. I mean,
a lot of the Jews. Hey, Putin went in there because Ukraine was killing the people in the Donbass. And because Ukraine were killing people in the Donbass.
Why? Okay, Gregory, I'm going to move on to another call. I don't understand. Gregory, I don't understand why you always have to be defending all these unsavory types. I really don't understand it. What do you think?
So, I think that sometimes you have different trains of thoughts when it comes to polarizing matters like these. And sometimes you listen to what aligns with your train of thought, and if you get a smidgen of anything, and then you amplify it, you know? And that's one of the issues that we would have had with social media. We got a call again?
Just dropped out.
Okay, that's one of the issues we had with the algorithm.
Yeah.
Remember the algorithm? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, caller, go right ahead.
Morning.
Hey.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not as pessimistic as some about a Trump victory. Because in a democracy, generally, what happens if the pendulum swings too far one side, it always goes back, right? There's always a tendency to go back to middle ground, right? And so I think the same thing would happen. The more extreme Trump gets, the more likely the pendulum is to swing back, right? So I don't think it's a dictatorship that we have to worry about, because in the case of a dictatorship, you don't have the opportunities for people to change their minds and vote a different way after they have buyer's remorse. Okay, so I think that's okay. I think the real dynamic at work is the fact that it was projected that, I forget by what date, that whites would become a minority in the United States.
2040, I think.
That is 2040?
Yeah, I think
right.
that's what they said.
So that made, I think, them sit up, the white people sit up and pay attention. And I think we're still undergoing the backlash from that demographic. But even with that, they still elected a black president and importantly, re-elected him. And secondly, we knew about the fact that Kamala Harris was a hard beat away from the presidency when Biden chose her. Okay, so I don't think they've had enough time to get accustomed to that. I don't think it weighs too much into the dynamic of the election, in the sense that, like I said, there are so many checks and balances, so that even though they may have a woman president, and then that might be anathema to some, there's always, how Congress and the Senate works, they can always block stuff. So it is not they have absolute power, So there's that as well. But but I really think, just in terms of competency, we should give Biden a break.
Well, I'm really alarmed. That, and I consider this very unbalanced analysis and reporting. I'm really alarmed at how they ignore Trump's, let me call them, neurological lapses, and they're playing up all the little things from all the little things.
Optics, Jamster.
I don't understand.
No. The optics, when he has his own lapses, they don't look as bad. They don't look, because he's confident with it.
Yes,
you know when you are confidently wrong, it's still confident. And trust me, a lot of women fall for confidently wrong men, and a lot of men fall for confident. Like, there's just like, oh yes, just because somebody appears to be confident, oh, that person is good. Trump has it. He's a showman.
I just don't understand.
No question about that.
He's a showman. That's what he is, and he's putting on a show, and he's an amazing showman. That's where he made his fame from. You fight,
He represents American bravado.
Yeah.
The masculinity.
Yes, and we love a good story with a knight in shining armor coming to save you.
Right.
That's what Hollywood is, and that's
rich.
what we watch.
And he's rich.
Yeah.
He
not as rich as we thought, but he's
American.
rich.
He's still rich, okay? And he has the capacity to raise money. That man can raise money so easily.
Yeah, he embodies everything Americans really, most Americans strive to be, and that, you know. So when it looks like, well, he's one of us, I think that's his strength. You know, he more than anybody else represents us.
But I don't know if people get the intrinsic paradox of that therein. Here's this rich spoiled guy. His daddy gave him money to start his business, and this guy who probably never shopped for groceries for himself and all these kinds of things. Yet people are holding him up as the poster boy of populism.
But
I don't get it.
But isn't it true that there are people who and people who look like us
seeing through him,
who have said that he's done more for black people than Obama did?
It's ridiculous.
No, isn't it? I'm just asking. Have you not heard that claim that he's done more for black people?
That sounds like one of the lies he would say.
No. He's not the one saying it. What I'm saying is,
it sounds like something he would say, though.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm saying black people are coming out now and are stating the facts that he did more for. Let me say, listen. I'm on.
I think like that is easy to check, though.
I think that's but I think that I feel like that comes out of a very short-sighted and selfish analysis of some people who are not very analytical, but have a big megaphone.
So why
simply because maybe they paid less taxes. Ice Cube and 50 Cent were criticized at some point for saying that they were gonna vote for Trump and they said, "Oh well, we're gonna pay less tax. I'm gonna pay less taxes when Trump." That's a very short-sighted and selfish way to assess who's going to run the country.
But you see, if on the President Trump, you had the rising tide lifting all boats, I can see where that would come from. Okay, they would look at that experience and figure that it can be repeated under him, when in fact most presidents don't have as large effect on the economy as people would like to think. Okay, there are the cycles, the up and down cycles, etc. Right? But I can see where I guess I can forgive some black people for thinking that way. But there's that underlying racism of Trump that comes out with his gaffes. Like, for instance, when he made the point, the fact that immigrants are coming over to take black people's jobs. There's an underlying current of racism that it's subtle, but it's there.
And what did he mean by black jobs last week?
Recognize it, you see?
What did he mean by black jobs on
Exactly.
Black
jobs. But things like that, as you pointed out, passes under the radar. Because generally people don't pay attention. A lot of people are more into bread and butter.
People are not. It's not that people are not paying attention. It's more so people are just saying, "Okay, he said that. Okay, fine. He gets a pass because I believe." Once you got to understand, when you have a conviction, it's very hard to alter you with facts. You understand? You have people who are convicted that he is the best person to lead the country. So the gaffes, the little statements that he would say here and there, the insults, all of those things, he gets away with them because it's like that good worker in the company who is late to work, right? Doesn't really do much in terms of, but at the end of the day, does such an amazing job at the one thing he or she's supposed to do, and it's hard to get rid of that person.
Name me one thing that Trump is good at.
Wait, no, I'm saying in their minds. I'm talking about conviction.
I know.
That's it. I am not going to sit here and name anything good or bad. I'm going to be on the fence here. I'm going to be that middle ground. I'm just saying, if you believe that this person...
Trump is the only clock that's not even right twice a day.
I can name you one good thing. One thing he's good at: communicating. You see, you remember Reagan. I think it's a blowback from Reagan years when people used to laugh. He was derided as oh, he's an actor and et cetera, and can't speak well unless he's on a teleprompter, etc. Well, it turned out that he was one of the most effective presidents because of his communication skills and his ability to persuade. And maybe that came from the acting, right? And I think Trump is somewhat like that. Okay,
He's a good
he may be bad at a
salesman
lot
too.
of things. He may be bad at a lot of things, but if he's good at determining what makes the average American voter tick, what are his issues, and he focuses on them and don't let go, he's going to be successful.
So he's
right?
meeting
I
you
mean,
where.
we could be intellectual all we want about whether he deserves to be president or not. I don't think he deserves to be president either. I think he's uniquely unqualified to be president on so many levels. But I'm not the average American voter, right? And they see things that we would not see, okay? And in the final analysis, that's how democracy works. Eh? I mean, it's their voting. And so if they want to elect a scam, let them elect a scam. To quote one of our local politicians here. You know? The only problem is, of course, the consequences. As you pointed out, he may withdraw from NATO and leave Ukraine to his own devices. He's definitely, as far as he's concerned, he just let Israel wipe out the Palestinians once and for all. And I agree that he's the Manchurian candidate for Putin either, right?
Putin certainly has something in him, that's for sure.
You think so?
Yes. But you've never heard the stories.
Don't think so.
You never heard the story. No, but that's the way Putin operates. When if you listen to the
he can
story,
operate how he wants, but
if you listen to the story, it sounds like the kind of thing he would do.
You can control Donald Trump? You really think Putin can control Donald Trump?
He doesn't have to control him. All he has to do is frame him, or have insurance.
When he's
Meaning,
president, if he's president, what does it matter? How
There's-
can you frame?
No, when they say frame, what they said has happened is that when he went to, on numerous occasions when he went to Russia, they would have, and he supposedly had trysts with prostitutes, and Putin had everything filmed and mic'd up and would have at some point let him know that, well, we have what the Russians call compromat. We have compromat on you. Compromising.
People not gonna. You forget Biden. You forget Biden telling that he was consorting with prostitutes while his wife was pregnant or something like that.
Yeah.
And that. Who cares, right?
No, but I think it's the nature of what the prostitutes was doing is what he probably would be embarrassed to have it come out.
Listen, I've gone to Chat GPT.
People like Trump can't be embarrassed by little. They call that sweating.
That's easy.
Would not be embarrassed by something like that.
I've gone to Chat GPT to ask what are 10 things that are generally viewed as positive and beneficial during Trump's presidency. I had to do that because I'm always on the platform of nobody ever goes to be president or prime minister to try to mash up a country. You come with a sense of I'm serious. Nobody goes to say I'm going in here to mash this place up. So there has to be some good.
No, but here you're talking about a raging narcissist.
Listen here. Let me tell you something. If you have a business and you want it to be represented very well and run well, especially when it comes to marketing, hire a narcissist. Serious. A narcissist who would want all of that credit to make himself look good will make the company look good in the process. I'm serious.
But while at the same time lining his pockets.
Wait. Hold on a second. What I'm saying here is, let me just read this out.
Go ahead. Yeah, read it. I want you to read it.
Read some of these things out. So, 1, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Signed into law in 2017, this bill lowered corporate taxes adjusted individual tax brackets. Next one, criminal justice reform, reducing mandatory minimum sentences for non-violent offenses, and expanding rehabilitative programs for inmates. Deregulation efforts. They roll back numerous regulation across sectors, which is really good for businesses. When you have a lot of regulation, it stifles growth. Increased military spending, prioritizes defense spending, aiming at strengthening the military. Trade policies, his administration negotiated NAFTA, resulting in U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, which some viewed as more favorable for American workers and businesses. Number 7, space exploration. Emphasize that. Next one, Veterans Affairs reform. Efforts were made to improve accountability and efficiency within that department. The other one, focus on border security, which we already know exactly what that was about. And the last one was Middle East peace agreements. Trump's administration brokered normalization agreements between Israel and several Arab nations known as the Abraham Accords, which aim to improve stability in the region.
You do realize that all of those points could arguably, as far as whether they're good or bad, are arguably subjective, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that what good is?
Well, not quite. No, would you call them subjective? Because all those,
increase military spending. I want more context on. I want more context on what exactly was military spending increased in. For one example, another one you mentioned was, go back to about number 4. Let me see. There was something you said, and I
deregulation efforts.
Yes. No, some of the I remember at the time. I don't remember what they were now, but I remember at the time some of the EPA stuff he rolled back. I mean, this guy put as the EPA administrator someone who is anti-environmental protection. You remember that?
By the way, the Supreme Court didn't fall on that list?
No, actually, yeah, I forgot. It says appointment of conservative judges.
Okay.
Including 3 Supreme Court justices, not necessarily. Okay, right. By many conservatives.
All that list to me represent essentially the MAGA agenda, Make America Great Again agenda. They're all consistent with that. And that's what I'm saying. He's able to zero in on the psyche, the soul of what the average American feels, right? And use that to propel himself into power. And he's about to do it. It seems as if he's about to do it again, right? That MAGA issue is a big deal, I think, for Americans. Because as the previous caller said, they seemed on the decline, right? So anything, and maybe they might still be on that path, but anything that slows it down or tries to reverse it is gonna get traction in the States.
I mean, this is surreal to me that here we this is time we can't get back. Here we're talking about this idiot.
Come on, man.
But how can you call a past president and a prospective president an idiot? That's the last thing you can't call him. You can give him a lot of other names.
I just did.
You definitely can't call him an idiot. Huh? You can't call him a man who has gone through so many bankruptcies and he still end up being rich, an idiot.
This guy,
him a lot of things, but not an idiot.
I mean, this guy is like, talk about having the luck of the devil, huh? This guy he's never been held accountable for anything he's ever done.
Really?
And gotten away with it.
He's gotten away with everything.
Yeah.
So I'm asking ChatGPT what Trump did for black people. Hold on. I'm asking ChatGPT what he did for black people. Let me just read this out.
Let me hear this.
First Step Act. This criminal justice reform aimed to reduce mandatory. Okay, we did that. Opportunity zones. Trump's administration created opportunity zones which incentivize investment in economically distressed communities, including many predominantly black neighborhoods. Number 3, HBCUs. Trump signed legislation providing more funding and support to the HBCUs, which are critical institutions for black higher education. Number 4, unemployment rates. Before COVID-19, unemployment rates for black Americans reached record lows. This was touted as a positive economic outcome. And number 5, policing law and enforcement. Trump emphasized law and order policies, which some black communities saw as necessary for public safety, but others criticized as exacerbating racial tensions for over policing. And number 6, criticism and controversies. Trump faced criticism for his handling of racial issues, including his response to events such as the Charlottesville protests and statements on racially charged topics. I don't know how that's something good, but I'm just saying that there's some things here that, I mean, the HBCUs, that's a good thing. But they're worth fact-checking, and that's why we need investigative journalists in these parts. I don't think we have enough, or if we have any, I think that we need to literally go on, and same thing with our own politics here. We need to literally, when this next election cycle comes about, have an air of fact-checking everything every politician says.
I would love to see
and
that kind
put it
of,
out there for everybody to see.
I would like to
and
see that kind of
use
rigor
their
for
word.
real.
I'm actually working on
Yes,
something,
absolutely.
but using AI. But yeah, can you imagine literally hearing somebody giving a speech?
But also, I would like, this is, oh God, this is something we're going to have to discuss maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I know IRL's probably, this is a topic that I'm sure a lot of listeners will. Why can't we have debate? Why can't we have political debates? I mean, I don't
Because they have a lot to
understand it.
lose.
Well, I don't care about what they have to lose.
You have more to lose.
You are putting yourself up as a candidate to run the country. I would love to see substantive debates.
Nah, in the absence of that, we have fact checkers, and we literally.
That too, definitely.
No, that solves it.
Absolutely.
Once you're on the platform, you're stating your case, and what I want to be able to do is to literally collect enough data to use your words against you. So when you said something is A, and then you come back and you say that thing is B, I can literally say, well, 2 years ago you said this was this. Why did you change your mind? Are you flip-flopping? That's how you can go to press conferences armed with real data, and don't ask these little low-hanging fruit questions that they just dance around, and next thing everyone is dancing with the stars. No, man. Keep their feet to the fire. Keep them honest.
A lot of the time the Prime Minister is playing he's playing football. He's
Let
punting, he's punting the
me
ball.
tell you something. When you come with data, the numbers never lie. And so from now, we need to be collecting data from all sides and building. Anyway, we talked about this AI camp that we're doing. That's part of what we could be building. Literally a chatbot that can literally ask a question. Okay, this political candidate said this. Is there any data that suggests that they're telling the truth, or is there? And then it gives you an answer. These are things that we can build and start collecting the data from there, because it's going to be super easy to do this at the end of the day. Like I said, this next election,
fact-checking ideas.
This next election cycle, I'm going to be working on some of these things because I want what's best for us, which is the truth.
So do
the facts, undisputable evidence supporting what is being said. Period.
So do I. Okay, we gotta leave you there. You come. You say you can't come tomorrow, right?
I'll try, man. I'll try anytime I get a chance.
So
I'll be right here.
We'll have 4 of us tomorrow. 4 on Friday.
What? I like that.
Kortensia will be here tomorrow.
Yeah,
for
let
sure.
her grill me again, and I'll grill her back.
Okay, so why are people calling now? When
because I said something that was very polarizing and real. That's what we need to hear.
Okay, well, folks, people calling, just store that away in the brain somewhere, and we're gonna try and think. Oh, we're gonna be discussing the UK election tomorrow as well. So they have elections today.
Yeah, he called.
So. Yeah, and then the French have elections on Sunday, so I guess we'll be discussing that on Monday. They run off. They're having their runoff to determine whether the right-wing party takes over. Crazy world.
Right.
Okay, so everyone have a great day.
Peace,
it was
love,
real.
and
yeah.
fat beats.
And see you back. See you back tomorrow.
All right.